What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Handmade Business Secrets podcast. And today I want to talk to you about how to start your woodworking business for less than $1,000. Let's jump in. Hey, well, welcome back to the show. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, be sure to check out the podcast, Handmade Business Secrets. For those of you listening to the podcast, be sure to check out YouTube. I want to dive straight into the material today and talk to you about how to start a woodworking business for less than $1,000. And so I'm going to start kind of just sharing my story because this is actually exactly what I did. And a lot of people, they think when they are going to start a woodworking business that they need to go buy all these brand new tools, need to go buy this big shop or rent out this big shop, and that is not what I recommend. And so I always recommend bootstrapping until you're profitable. Okay, so that's the goal. Is we want to run as lean as we can until we start making some money, and that we can prove to ourselves that this is a legitimate thing. So let me tell you how I started. So when I started my business, I bought used tools. I got on Craigslist, I got on Facebook Marketplace, and I started buying used drills, used saws, used sanders. I messaged all my friends and I said, hey, do you have any tools laying around that you're not using that I could borrow, or that you'd be willing to let me have or let me buy from you for cheap? And so in reality, I was able to get a couple drills for both of them. I think I spent like maybe $60 for two drills. I was able to get a table saw for around $200 used, maybe $250 used. It was actually my biggest expense. I was able to get a miter saw for around $125. I was able to get a sander for $20 used, a circular saw, when you're making long cuts across plywood or cross cuts or things like that. I think I spent maybe $60 or $80 on it, maybe $70. The biggest find that I ever had, I was really proud of this, was I got a biscuit joiner that's normally about a $220 tool. I got it brand new. Guy had literally the cord on it was still wrapped up with a twist tie, and I got it on Facebook Marketplace for like $50. It was brand new. He had literally never taken it out of the package. So I probably built 100 plus tables using that biscuit joiner for like a year and a half or 2 years before it finally died on me. It was a Porter cable biscuit joiner. But and then the only other thing that you really need, so you need drills, you need a table saw, a miter saw, a sander, circular saw, jigsaw, and a Craig jig. Now the thing, I would say the Craig jig, especially when you're just starting out, because it's a very simple form of joinery that's pretty effective as long as you glue it and screw it, is kind of the phrase inside the woodworking community. And so that's how I started. And so what else do you need to think about when you start thinking about a woodworking business? Well, all the things that I just mentioned are the things that you're going to find other videos on YouTube about. You're going to hear lots of people talking about and sharing that information. Everybody wants to focus on the tools. What tools are best? What tools should I buy? And those are all legitimate things. But what no one thinks about is like, how am I going to get out there? How are people going to discover me? How am I going to sell anything? And so that's where building a website on Shopify, you can get started for free. I think there's a 14-day free trial. I'm going to have a link, by the way, below this video, below the podcast, for all the things that I started with and that you can start with pretty cheap too. So Shopify website, and then how am I going to create some buzz around what I'm doing? And so let me give you some strategies real fast to help you get off the ground with your first 3 to 10 sales. Okay, now this depends on what you're doing. If you're selling really expensive high-end stuff, it's going to be a little bit harder to find these customers. But if you're selling blanket ladders, or you're selling cutting boards, or you're selling something that is smaller, it's $100 or less, it's pretty easy to start pumping these things out and get several sales on this. So let me kind of tell you some of the strategies that I used the first couple months to start getting a little bit of traction. Now, if you go back to episode number 1 of the Handmade Business Secrets, and even if you've listened to my opener on my podcast, you know that I tell you that I kind of struggled that first 3 to 4 months in my business in a major way. And it was because I thought if I had the tools, then I was going to be successful. And it's not the case. marketing is more important than what tools are in your shop. Whether you use a DeWalt drill or you use a Ryobi drill or you use a Milwaukee drill, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter that much. One will probably die before the other, and you just spend more money before or later than the other. But the reality is what's most important is that people know who you are and people are placing orders with you and you have cash flow inside your business, okay? That's the most important thing. So just know that if you're watching this and you're like, all right, I'm ready to start, the tools are important, but the marketing is importanter, okay? Remember that. Okay, so let me give you three things you can do that are just organic. These are free. They don't cost you anything. So there's paid marketing, which is where you put money in and you like paid advertising. And then there's organic marketing, which is conversations that you're having, posts that you're making on social media. And so let me give you 3 organic marketing strategies that can help you get off the ground. So number 1, doing a giveaway for liking, commenting, and sharing your post. Okay, so you can do this on Facebook, and most of the time, if you're building woodworking projects, your target market is going to be an older market in general. It depends on what you're building, but most of the time, if you're building something from wood, the older populations value that a lot more than younger populations do in general. So you're trying to hit the 30 to 55 year old range, and I find that most of the time, about 90% of our customers are women. They're the ones making the driving decisions on what styles they want. They're the ones thinking about the decor of the home. You guys out there, if you're anything like me, you could be totally content with a TV and a chair in the living room and a fridge and a bathroom, and that's about it, right? So, but women are very different. That's most likely the market that you're going to be trying to serve. And so, where are 30 to 55-year-old women? Well, they're on lots of different platforms, social media platforms right now. But they're still on Facebook. Facebook is still a very large driver in their life. That's where they're in their, Facebook groups are thriving right now. Getting on Facebook, creating a Facebook presence, creating a couple products, and then just posting about a giveaway. And you need to get really great pictures or video of whatever you're giving away that somebody would like, comment on it, and share. Okay, so doing these 3 things, liking, commenting, and sharing, that signals Facebook that this is a popular post, and so it's more likely to show that to more of your friends. It's more likely to make that explode in a way if you can get people to like, comment, and share. Now, disclaimer about this: what you can't do is say, "Hey, I've got this piece of wood that cost me 2 cents that I'm giving away. If you want this piece of wood, like, comment, and share." Nobody cares about a piece of wood. You have to have something that's actually substantial. That's that's pretty cool. That would be cool to win. And so I anytime that I've ever done a giveaway, I like to give away something substantial. I give away a dining table. That's, it might cost me $200 or $300 and 15 or 20 hours to build a dining table, but it has a very high perceived value. A custom dining table is a $1,500 product, a $2,000 product. So you're much more likely to get a lot of people that are going to like that, they're going to comment on it, and that they're going to share. Okay, and then so if you do that, then you have to stick to your guns and say, okay, we're going to have the drawing for whoever wins at this day, at this time, and then you go live on Facebook, you set up the drawing, and you announce the winner. Okay, now this is a really fast way to get your page. Oh, and the other thing is like your page. So like the post, like the page, comment, and share. This is going to be a really quick way to get some legitimacy to your business. And so what happens is if people come across your business and you have 13 likes, you and all your immediate family, you don't have any legitimacy yet in the mind of the consumer. So what you have to do is you have to focus on, okay, how do I get reviews? How do I get likes on the page? Because even though it's kind of a vanity metric, there's people out there that have hundreds of thousands of likes that don't sell anything or do well financially. It does something in the mind of the consumer, proving your legitimacy, that you're not somebody that's fly by night. Okay, so number 1 is you want to do a giveaway for like the post, like the page, comment, and share. Okay, and make it worthwhile. Okay, number 2 is just posting in local groups. So where I'm from, in Longview, Texas, there's an All Things Longview Facebook group, and posting your work there every time that you do something. Talking about any sales that you're running, talking about that is free marketing. And so I've got 75,000 people in that group, and I can post in that group every single day if I want to. And so you need to utilize what are the easy wins, what's the low-hanging fruit that if I just know that I post here, or I talk here, or I share this or share that it'll help me get in front of the right people. And just a reminder on this, a lot of you guys are creating low-ticket products. I've got a podcast about the difference between high-ticket versus low-ticket products, and I actually have a YouTube video on that too. And so I 100% favor high-ticket products, but you can still win with low-ticket products. I'm not going to tell you what you should do, but check out that video to learn a little bit more about that. But posting in local groups, local Facebook groups, that's going to be a really easy way to get in front of your local eyeballs. So take that step. Then number 3 is giving friends and family discounts for sharing your stuff. So like, hey, are you needing anything built? Are you needing anything done? This is me. I'm launching this side hustle. I'm launching this business, and I'm really looking to do some work. And I'm happy to give you a discount if it's something that you need in exchange for some publicity, in exchange for reviews, in exchange for you shouting me out and sharing my work with your audience. Okay. So number 1 is what tools do we need? Okay. That's how we got in for less than $1,000. We have 3 organic marketing strategies that don't cost us anything. Okay. And then the last thing that we need is we obviously need space to do this. And so you're most likely going to be starting in a garage, in a backyard shed, something along those lines. And so we're going to be dropping another episode here in a few episodes all around how to maximize your garage or your space as a woodworker. But here's just some quick things that I can tell you. When it comes to your space, you don't want to invest a ton of money. You want to find how to get set up with some work tables. You want to find how to get set up with a few other small things that will make you efficient. And that's going to be the name of the game when you start trying to work out of a small space, is how can I make this as streamlined and as efficient as possible. And so you can go back to episode number 8 on the Handmade Business Secrets podcast. I actually have a good friend of mine. His name is Tom Dossel. He was actually my next door neighbor, and he was hired on by multi-billion-dollar corporations to come in. He's an efficiency specialist, consultant. So he would come in and save them millions of dollars a year by improving efficiency in each area of their manufacturing facilities. So he really talked to me a lot. That's a really value-packed episode on the Handmade Business Secrets podcast. Suggest you check that out. But yeah, that's how you get started with the woodworking business for less than $1,000. And so the only other tool that I forgot that you might need is a planer. You can buy one of those brand new for around $275 or $300. There's a Porter cable planer that is a great little 12.5-inch planer, and you can probably find it used for $100 to $150. But I know that you can get in it for around $275. And I think even with everything that I mentioned, and including the planer, you should be right around that $1,000 mark. So with that being said, guys, if you're watching this and you're just getting started, tune into the podcast, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully this is valuable for you. I have over 80 episodes on the podcast, and so that's a great place to binge as you're sanding or working in the shop. Pop that in your ears and just get lost in it. Try to produce really valuable content to help you out on that. And so that's if you're just getting started. If you're watching this and you've been in the game for a little bit and you're trying to get more efficient and you're trying to scale what you're doing, if you're making anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 a month and you're trying to grow beyond that, I suggest you apply for my Woodworking Business Accelerator program. I got the link below in the description. And once you click on that link, it's going to take you to a video that's going to tell you more about it. I don't want to waste any more time here, but thank you so much for your time, for your attention today. And with that being said, I will see you on the next one. Peace out.